Okay, so you know how I always do like a funny little intro for my videos? This one I'm just gonna do a little rant that I had the other day, and you can skip to the video if you don't want to hear it. But okay, so I had to get my wheels on my car aligned because I ain't finna lie, I hit a pole. All right. In my defense, it was raining and it was only the short little yellow sticks that you see. But, I did still hit a pole at the end of the day. And then I noticed that my front right wheel was unaligned. Now, it was after I stopped. I was at the drive-thru at a bank and, they said it was all fine because it wasn't damaged. I didn't have to pay for anything. But, anyway, so that embarrassing part is out of the way. I hit a pole. And so, of course, I was like, okay, well, then I got to go to a mechanic and get this fixed because I can't drive with a wheel unaligned, and I needed to get my oil changed anyway. So I was like, whatever, I'll spend money on the oil change and to get my front, my front wheels aligned. So I go to the dealership, and I know that whenever they come back, when you're in the waiting room, it usually means they're just trying to scam you into more money. So the guy came back and said like, oh, we have to do all four wheels because the hit could have been that bad. Which, before I get someone in the comment that wants to give me some kind of rant about cars or whatever, okay, I did look it up, and sometimes that is true, but the hit was not that bad. Like, even as someone who doesn't really know much about cars, I knew it wasn't that bad. So I was like, it's fine. I don't want to spend that money right now. Like, I just moved out not too long ago. Like, I need to save money. So just no thanks, I'll only do the front wheel. And then, again, I was like, it's probably just like a scam. So then they're finally done. Even after they told me it was only going to be like an hour or so, it was more like 2, but whatever. So they're like, okay, we're done. And then they were like, okay, so we found a lot of things wrong, which they seemingly always do, I guess. But anyway, so they were like, okay, yeah, we're done. And just so you know, we only are charging you for the oil change because we couldn't do the wheel alignment. And I was like, why not? Like, why can't you do it? I was stern with them. I was like, I'm not buying it, dude. Like, why can't you do it? And then he was like, oh yeah, your car it's too new or it's too big for our type of machine. You'll have to go somewhere else to do that. I was like, wow, that is some BS. First of all, we bought this car from your dealership. There's no way it's too new or too big or whatever. We bought it from here. And then 2, if you already knew that, why didn't you just tell me that? Like, you saw my car before you even brought it in. Like, if you knew that car was too big, why didn't you just tell me off the bat, hey, yeah, that car's too big. Sorry, we can't do it. Just don't listen to all these mechanics, man. They try to scam you into stuff. It's annoying. All right, so welcome back, everyone. I said that every month, or at least in June, July, and August, we're going to be doing a schedule prediction. I did one last month. That was 1.0. Now that we're in July, this is going to be the game-by-game predictions 2.0 for the Dolphins 2021 schedule. Now, I will say off the bat that not a ton has changed, and I feel like that's going to happen most every time I do these, because I feel like whatever I see first is just kind of how it is. But, training camp goes by, or, more, trades, whatever it may be, or just more thought even goes by. And there are a few changes on here that I think I can see going maybe the other way that I had originally predicted. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it here. So we're going to start out in week 1 at New England. Originally, I said we were going to win this game. I thought that we were going to win at least one game to New England. And I do still think that's going to be the case here. However, I'm going to say this time, this is the one we lose. And we start the season at 0-1. I do think that Belichick's out for revenge. And maybe 2019 was kind of just like a fluky thing where, in reality, we just don't have much luck in New England. And because Tom Brady left, I don't think that really even changes a whole lot. Now, I do think both of these teams are different than they were in years past, but basically my point is the Patriots are just as hungry as we are. Like, we can't really be biased and say that we're the only team that's hungry because, that's just not the case. Like, the Patriots are just as motivated to win all these games. In fact, maybe even more motivated now that they saw Tom Brady win the Super Bowl without them. So Belichick is out for revenge. Trust me, we're looking to get in the playoffs, but the Patriots, after losing their dynasty last year and seeing that other people are accusing them that it's just Tom Brady and not Bill Belichick, well, now he's pissed. Like, he wants to prove that he is part of the reason for that comeback. So I think they'll unfortunately start strong and get the win here. And then week 2, I think I'm going to keep my original prediction and say that we lose. We're going to go 0-2. It's just at this point, until we prove that we can beat the Bills, I'm not going to say we do, or at least not for this week. Bills are just a really good football team. I think we can beat them. I think this will be a close game, but simply put, we just haven't really proven that we can beat the Bills yet, and I think it's going to be a repeat of last year where we start 0-2. Now, week 3, we're going to go to Las Vegas, and I think we'll win this game. We'll start 1-2. Raiders on paper really don't have that good of a roster, and I think our secondary and really just defense as a whole can do a good job against Derek Carr. So I think we can pick up the win there in Las Vegas. Then week 4 is going to be versus Indianapolis. It's the same story. I think our pass rush can force Carson Wentz into some mistakes to get him to throw the ball to Xavier Howard or Byron Jones, whatever it may be. And honestly, the Colts defense isn't not bad, but not bad enough to where our offense can't break through, I guess. So I think we can win this game and quickly get back on track at 2-2. Then week 5 is going to be at Tampa Bay. There's a part of me that wants to say we'll win this game because I think the Bucs are just going to be too, hungover, I guess, after their Super Bowl win. And maybe by like week 5 is when they're kind of like, oh crap, like we're going to have to focus up. Because I think that happens to a lot of teams that go to the Super Bowl around this time of the year. I'll still say we lose though, because I think their pass rush against our O-line is just not a very good matchup. But we'll put us at 2-3 for now. But week 6 is going to be at Jacksonville in London. I don't really see too much of a difference happening here. I think we're still going to go 3-3 there. The Jags are just not a good football team. I think we should be able to win that game. Let's just move on. Week 7 is going to be versus Atlanta. I'm not going to say every single time about this being rest up Brenda versus Dolphin Drawdown. Like, you get the idea. But the actual Falcons versus Dolphins, this is not a pushover game. Like, I think the Falcons, they did do the right thing and get an offensive-minded coach, because when they had Kyle Shanahan, that's when they were thriving and went to the Super Bowl. And then they made a mistake in letting him go and stick with Dan Quinn, who was defensive-minded, and, well, you know what happened ever since. That happened. So now that they're going with Arthur Smith, who I do think is a good offensive mind, I think there's a chance the Falcons can be a little better than we're expecting them to be. However, their problem is going to be, first of all, their defense. I think our offense is good enough to get past their defense. But also, how good is their O-line actually? Like, this pass rush, I actually expect to step up for the Dolphins, especially with Jalen Phillips. And Matt Ryan can be a little sporadic. So if we can force him into mistakes, then Xavier Howard will be right there to pick up the ball for the Dolphins. And then I think we can get through there. Not the best defense ever. So I think we should be able to win this game and go 4-3, but it really would not surprise me entirely if they lost. Week 8 is going to be at Buffalo. Again, not really going to go into it. I think we'll lose and go 4-4. It's just until we can beat the Bills, I will say that we don't beat the Bills. Week 9 versus Houston. Again, if you can't beat Houston, it's just not looking too good for you. So I think we'll win and go 5-4. Then week 10 versus Baltimore. That's going to be a Thursday night game at home. I am really intrigued in this matchup. This is a really good matchup to me. I originally said we lose. I'm going to change that prediction. I think we're going to win, actually, which would put us at 6-4. The reason I'm saying that is because, again, I'm expecting our pass rush to be a lot better than people are expecting. If you can contain Lamar Jackson and force him to throw, it's proven at this point that it's just not a good formula. Like, the teams kind of figured out the Ravens. They even admitted that teams are calling out their plays at the line of scrimmage. If we can contain Lamar Jackson and really just make sure he doesn't run the ball, then it'll force them to throw, which we've seen is not a good strategy for the Ravens. They're trying to get better at it. It's just not how they work. And with us having the secondary that we do, I think that really goes well in this particular matchup. Now, their defense is still really good, and I think our offense still has some question marks. But I think as long as you can just contain Lamar Jackson, we actually should be able to win this game. Plus, it's a short week for them on the road. So, actually, I'll change my mind on this one. It's not an easy game at all, but I'm going to say we win this game and go 6-4. Week 11 is going to be at the New York Jets. Win, and it's just we never usually lose to the Jets. I don't really see us at least getting swept by the Jets. Maybe they might be better than we think and beat us at least once, but I just don't think it's going to be here. We'll go 7-4. Week 12 is going to be versus Carolina. Dolphins seem to have Sam Darnold's number. I think they'll be able to win this game and go 8-4. Shouldn't be a huge problem there. Week 13 is versus the New York Giants. This is kind of like a sleeper loss, actually, to me. I think the Giants' defense is just better than we're expecting. I'm still going to say we win, because I think it's just, in general, Daniel Jones can be a good quarterback, but against good defenses, obviously struggles, and we have a really good defense. So I'm still going to say we win, but I wouldn't say it's like a pushover, because it's not. Week 14 is the bye week. And then moving on to week 15 is going to be versus the New York Jets. Again, we just always beat the Jets. I say we win that game and go 10-4. Now, week 16 is going to be a Monday Night Football game at New Orleans. I still think it's going to be the same scenario where both teams are desperately fighting for a playoff spot. And I'm actually going to change my prediction here and say that we lose, which would put us at 10-5. Saints are a very good offensive-minded team, and despite our defense being as good as it is, this Saints offense is still really good, and so is their defense. Our offense, if it's not very good, then maybe it'll just be a little bit too much trying to keep up with both the Saints offense and defense. Like, defense can maybe handle it for a while, but after a while, if the offense just isn't scoring points, then they're going to let up, which is unfortunately what I think is going to happen here. So they'll go 10-5. Then week 17 at Tennessee. Again, I'm going to keep my prediction and say we lose, which would put us at 10-6. Still a good record, but it'll be kind of the same scenario there. Now for week 18, the more I think about me swapping around which game we win against New England, the more it makes sense to me, which, spoiler alert, means we win this game and go 11-6. The Dolphins at 10-6 unfortunately saw last year that that's not a guarantee to make the playoffs in the AFC. It's super competitive. I'm not going to predict we actually win the division. I think we'll be in the fight for a wild card, though. And honestly, I'm expecting the Patriots to have a bounce-back season. I think it'll be kind of like the 2017 Falcons in the whole NFC South. Like, the Saints had already clinched the division. The Panthers bounced back from a bad season and had already clinched a spot. And then the Falcons needed that week 17 game to finally make the playoffs, or else Seattle would have gone in, which they ended up beating the Panthers, who had just clinched a spot. Honestly, I'm kind of predicting it's going to be the same thing. I think the Bills will clinch the division. Patriots will bounce back from a bad season. And so it's up to the Dolphins now to win this game in order to secure a playoff spot, which they always end up beating New England somehow. So I'm going to predict we win this game. And I realize that is the same exact prediction I had in the last one, where we are a wild card team at 11-6, just different games that we win and lose. But I think that actually looks a little bit better than my last one, so I think this video is still worth it. I do think we're probably going to go somewhere around 11-6. But yeah, that's going to be my 2.0 schedule predictions. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree, disagree? Again, be sure to put that in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this to your friends and family or anyone who might be a Dolphin fan. And until then, I will see you on Thursday. Fins up, everybody.